Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. A father and son are dead, and a young girl is in critical condition after what police are calling a horrific accident. All three were overcome by carbon monoxide.
Louisville Metro police officers say it happened after a family left the car running inside a garage. Conrad DeLuche has more about the investigation and the dangers of the silent killer in tonight's LEX 18 Big Story at 6.
Carbon monoxide, the silent killer.
It's odorless and it's colorless, so you can't see it, smell it, taste it, or even hear it.
That's what police say caused a, quote, horrific accident in suburban Louisville, where a family member found a father, son, and daughter unconscious inside a garage.
It appeared to be that he had warmed the car up while they were sitting in the garage, and then trying to get the kids out of the door for school and to start the day.
The 3-year-old boy and father have died. The 7-year-old girl is in critical condition. Officials say this is a tragic reminder about the dangers of using a combustible engine in an enclosed space.
Even with the garage door open, it is still very hazardous, yes.
Major Jordan Sauce with the Lexington Fire Department says carbon monoxide is not just a danger in the garage, but in the entire home, and the symptoms can sneak up on you.
Headache, lightheaded, dizzy, vomiting, nausea. If you're sleeping, you won't even have the symptoms, but ultimately it can kill you if you're not aware of it.
He reminds homeowners to make sure heating equipment is properly maintained and the chimney inspected and cleaned at least once a year. Major Sauce says that they have worked 3 different chimney fires in Lexington in just the past 2 months. While the exact causes are still being investigated, he says failure to inspect could even lead to exposure to carbon monoxide. Covering the news, Conrad DeLuche, LEX 18 News.
Police surrounded a Jessamine County home this afternoon because they say a man fired a shot near a woman and then holed up inside.
It happened on Martin Drive in the Tates Creek Mobile Home Park in Jessamine County and lasted about 2 hours. Connor McHugh shows us how deputies were able to arrest the man.
It took 2 hours and a lot of negotiating for sheriff's deputies to get that man out of this home earlier this afternoon. Eventually, they went through that door and brought him out themselves. A sheriff's deputy shot this video of when it all came to an end. That's 35-year-old John Winkle being led out of the home in handcuffs. Deputies say this all started when he fired a shotgun at his significant other during an argument this afternoon. Deputies quickly responded to the home and for nearly 2 hours negotiated with Winkle, at times with guns drawn. In that process, they say they were able to get the significant other and someone else in the home to safety before they went in for Winkle. Deputies say it's likely he was under the influence of drugs.
He surrendered without any fight or anything, and no one got hurt, and he's going to be charged with wanton endangerment, 1st degree.
One thing deputies had to be extra careful about this afternoon is how many homes are in the immediate area. Neighbors, for that time being, had to stay in their home until things were finished safely. We're covering the news in Jessamine County from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom. Back to you.
All right, a day today where we actually saw a little bit of sunshine work its way out before the day ended. Clouds finally parted, but they are coming back in a hurry. Max Track Live Doppler now. 6:03, not much going on. Now we'll take you to the future track. We're going to see temperatures hanging around the 30-degree mark. We could drop into the upper 20s for a while. But the thing is, as we continue through the night, what we'll see happen is some moisture begins to come in. Now, I think it's really the hours after midnight where we might see a little bit of light rain try and move in. You see it gets a little more widespread there at 9 o'clock, and the possibility that some folks are going to be hovering right close to that freezing mark, give or take a degree or so. So there could be a little freezing drizzle at the onset, especially north of I-64. But you notice as we continue through the morning, our temperatures do rise above freezing, and so whatever's falling will be rain. It'll be light, whatever it is. We're talking about temperatures that are sitting now in the upper 20s. I mean, it is cold, but temperatures will begin to rise toward morning. So setting you up here, low 30s as temperatures are rising toward breakfast. May have a little mix at the onset. Shower possibility at lunch. A little bit more rain as we head toward dinner. We'll talk more in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Bill. A bizarre series of events in Henry County, all laid out in the arrest citation of a man accused of abuse of a corpse and forgery. LEX 18's Mike Valenti was in Campbellsburg today when he ran into the man eager to tell his side.
Authorities say in an interview, 57-year-old Patrick Hill admitted to finding Loretta Rosatsky's body after he returned home from a trip to a casino on October 20th. He said he then went to the Minute Mart down the street, and when asked how his girlfriend was doing, Hill told an employee Rosatsky was okay. He told police that night he and his dog slept in bed with Rosatsky's corpse. The next day, police discovered her body. No foul play was suspected in her death.
It's crazy. I mean, that's weird. I think that's about as weird as it can get, for real.
It seems the only person around here who doesn't think what Patrick Hill did was wrong or bizarre is Patrick Hill.
I mean, I put my arm around her. I covered her up. You know, I mean, I put a blanket over to kind of keep her warm. And then I put my arm on her body, over her, and then to kind of let her feel that I was with her.
Launching into a spirited defense of his actions, Hill says he was grief-stricken, confused, and worried that others would suspect him in her death. He insists he never defiled the body and wasn't trying to hide what happened, even though he told a Mini-Mart employee his dead girlfriend was fine.
I just didn't want anybody to know, I guess, for a while until I was, you know, ready to really get into it. And
were you planning on covering this up?
No cover up, no.
You weren't
just scared, you know, just.
That never crossed your mind to disclose?
No.
A week later, Hill was arrested a second time, accused of trying to cash a $3,000 check in Ruzatsky's name.
And she signed it. I swear to God, man.
Hill claims Ruzatsky wanted to cash it for food. Police say he forged the signature. Covering the news in Henry County, Mike Valenti, LEX 18 News.
Hill told us that he believes the charges should be dismissed. His next court appearance is in December.
Corbin police are trying to catch a man wanted in a bank robbery. It happened around 2 yesterday afternoon at the hometown bank off Interstate 75. According to authorities, Timothy Sample demanded money, showed the clerk a gun, then took off with money, running toward a nearby Dollar General. If you know where Sample may be, please give Corbin police a call. For a few weeks now, structures made from food cans have been on display at the Lexington Center.
They're part of a Construction, a worldwide charity art competition. And last night, they were almost ruined by vandals. Carolina Buchek has the story.
We have honey carrots and manwich.
Can by can, Lexington's top architects and engineers built these giant structures earlier this month.
Okay, that's on the ladder.
The carefully constructed pieces took a long time to plan and assemble, and for the last few weeks, they've been on display here at the Lexington Center. Everything has been going well, and then last night happened. Off camera, witnesses told us around 7:30 last night, vandals ran through the competition area. They knocked cans on several of the structures down. And the entire situation has left some people in the community upset.
I think it's very disappointing, especially for what the food is used for, you know, for charity, and especially this time of the year. You know, people are in need of that, and it's heartbreaking to know that people just could care less what it's used for and what the meaning of it is for.
Luckily, the group that put the basketball structure together was able to reconstruct it, and thankfully, no cans were damaged. So all of them will still be donated to God's Pantry. And as far as the structures go, they've already been judged, and the winner will be announced tomorrow. Covering the news in Lexington, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
Help Bluegrass Crime Stoppers track down this week's most wanted, and you can pocket some cash. Police are looking for 30-year-old Jonathan Wilkerson. He's 6'1", weighs about 220. Wilkerson is wanted on charges including wanton endangerment and burglary. Call the tip line 859-253-2020 or text your information to crimes. Put LEX PD in the message along with your anonymous tip. Firefighters worked quickly to save crops in Harrison County today after a fire tore through a grain bin this afternoon.
Firefighters say this grain bin had beans drying inside when something happened, causing the fire to spark. They had to put it out quickly so the fire wouldn't spread to the other bins nearby. And another problem they ran into, the beans themselves. They began swelling from the water used to put the fire out, and firefighters worried that would cause the building to collapse. So they worked fast to get rid of all the damaged beans.
And they're going to cut a hole in the side and suck the beans out and take them to another bin or take them out in the middle of the field because they're no good anyway. And that's where we're at now.
Firefighters say no other crops were ruined. Customers of Kentucky American Water may be seeing an increase on their bills. The company filed an application with the Kentucky Public Service Commission to adjust rates for water service. The increase will go towards upgrades, which will exceed $100 million. Kentucky American says the investments are necessary to maintain and enhance service, water quality, system reliability, and fire protection capabilities. The cost of water service for most customers will remain about a penny per gallon. Still ahead, he's a father, an officer, and tonight a hero to a broken-hearted Kentucky woman.
What he did that's making a difference for her and her children is coming up on LEX 18 News at 6.